Hey credit warriors, Credit Schiffel here. Well, with the financial hardship that we have been going through over the last few weeks, this is a topic that I think is going to interest a lot of people, how to get out of debt without paying credit card interest, okay? And what we're talking about here is balance transfer cards. Now, I know some people watching this probably will be familiar with balance transfer cards, but keep watching. I'm going to give you later in the video a rundown of some of the best balance transfer options available on the market in 2020 that you might not know about. So stick around. But first of all, we're going to tell you two factors that you need to know in order to assess whether a certain balance transfer card is correct for you. Now, these are the two factors that really affect balance transfer cards. So the first one is APR. Now, if it's a genuine balance transfer card, this should be 0% APR, okay? So no interest, and that's going to be for a promotional period of time. No credit card is going to give permanent 0% APR. Otherwise, how do they make money? But it's normally a promotional period from when you open the account. Now, what you need to do though is you need to check that this 0% promotional APR period does apply to balance transfers, because some only apply to purchases, okay, when you swipe the card and buy things. But some others will only apply to balance transfers. Obviously, what's better is if it applies to both purchases and balance transfers. But then the main thing you need to pay attention to with the APR is the length of time that you get that 0% APR for, okay? And this could be normally for a minimum of a year, up to even close to 2 years in some cases, okay? So that's the first factor, the APR and how long you get the 0% rate for. The second factor is going to be, is there a balance transfer fee, all right? So some cards will not have a balance transfer fee for you to transfer a balance over. However, some cards will charge you a fee, and it'll normally be a percentage like 3%, 5%, and there may be a minimum dollar amount, like it has to be a minimum of $5 or a minimum of $10 that they'll charge you. But these cards generally seem to have longer 0% APR timeframes, okay? And that would make sense because you're paying a fee up front. You get what you pay for. You get a longer period of interest-free, 0% APR. So those are the two factors. So now we know that information, let's actually take a look at some balance transfer cards that are available on the market in 2020. And we're going to start off with the no fee balance transfer cards, okay? So this is one thing we talked about, no balance transfer fee. And first up, we have the American Express Everyday Credit Card. Now this card also gives you 0% APR for 15 months. And balance transfers must be requested within the first 60 days of account opening to qualify for that 0% rate, okay? And this card has no balance transfer fee at all, okay? So it's not just in the first 60 days and then after that there's a fee. It's no balance transfer fee at all. Now, the one really great thing about the Amex Everyday card is that it actually earns points, okay? It's kind of got a bit of future proofing in there. So you can use it as a balance transfer option, but then after that, you actually might want to keep it for earning points. For example, it earns 2x Amex points per dollar at US supermarkets on up to $6,000 in spending per year. And it even has a sign-up bonus of 10,000 points, which is, pretty awesome. So it is quite a good, opportunity if you can get approved for it to earn some points while you're doing a balance transfer and saving on interest. Let's have a look at the next one, which is from Bank of America, and this is the BankAmericard. Now let me tell you a little something about the name BankAmericard. Now the name BankAmericard is actually the name of the first ever general purpose credit card, okay? Not a charge card, an actual credit card that was developed by Bank of America in California. This card actually went on to become Visa, okay? BankAmericard Network later on became Visa, they changed the name, and Bank of America actually brought the name back in the early 2000s for this one credit card, which is now the only thing that's branded as BankAmericard. We have a video on our channel that you guys can check out that gives you the whole history of how BankAmericard became Visa. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, back to talking about the card. So this card offers you 15 months of 0% APR on purchases and balance transfers made within the first 60 days of account opening. There's also no balance transfer fee for the first 60 days as well. And then after that, it's 3% of each transaction with a minimum of $10. And this card is a little bit better for people who are kind of, maybe have lower credit scores, or they have, they're repairing their credit, because it also has things like no penalty APR for missed payments, access to credit education articles and stuff like that. So it's a little bit geared towards people who are probably on the lower end of the credit score or credit knowledge kind of range. Now let's look at the other factor associated with balance transfers, and that would be the length of time that you get the 0% APR for. We're going to give you two of the longest 0% APR cards, okay? And the first one is from Citi, and it is the City Diamond Preferred. Okay, so this card gives you 21 months of 0% APR from the date of your first transfer, which is awesome. Okay, that's nearly double the average period of 0% APR, close to 2 years. Okay, and the conditions for this transfers must be completed within the first 4 months, and there's also a balance transfer fee of either $5 or 5%, whichever is greater. Then we have another card which is kind of a runner-up in this category with a long 0% APR period, and that is the Wells Fargo Platinum Card. So with this, you get 18 months of 0% APR on purchases and qualifying balance transfers. I will put the balance transfer fees on the screen for you. I don't have them off the top of my head. But yeah, this is a good runner-up to the City Diamond Preferred. So as to whether you want to go for a no balance transfer fee card and save on the fee, or you want to emphasize length of time and pay a balance transfer fee but then pay no interest for a longer period of time, you really need to look at your own situation for that. Do you think you can pay it off reasonably quickly, like within a year or so? Because if that's the case, then it's probably better to go for the no fee balance transfer. Or if you need to pay this back in much smaller installments and you want the maximum amount of time possible, you want like a 21-month period, 18-month period, then you might want to pay a fee initially and go for that longer period of 0% APR. So I hope that is helpful. If I have links for any of these cards, I will put them in the description below for you guys to check out. As always, please subscribe if you're new for more credit cards and personal finance tips and tricks almost every day. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.